members' reports, could I go around the table, and I'll start with you, Councillor.
We've just finished 21 worship in terms of the suggested resolution, and just note that number 3, delete that as Councillor Henderson is paying his own way.
Okay, we just delete that. Delete number 3, please. So the suggested resolution is just 1 and 2. That those workshops be approved. Well, it'll go longer than that, but that's the information we received. Yeah, okay.
Moved.
Moved and second. Shane can't do it. Councillor Johnson. Well, that's in favour. What do I look at you for, Shane? All in favour? Aye. And members' reports, please. Just before we go round the table, I think Councillor Downer and Councillor Kirk went down to Wellington to attend that emergency management conference. Anna Kirk's very apologetic today with her little sick baby. She can't be here, but she tells me that Councillor Downer will be giving us a report.
Which has been tabled.
Which is tabled.
And I'd like to thank Councillor Kirk. She did all the hard work in doing us a report, and unfortunately she's not here to table it, but she's done a very good job, so I hope you've all read that. But I did say that I would add just a few points through the conference that I kind of made, and prudent points through each speaker, and these are some of them. Trying to get people to change their habits of a lifetime through emergency towards recovery and resilience. It's not the strongest of species that survives, nor the most intelligent species, but the one who most adapts to change. The importance of getting it right. The world is watching us read the recovery and rebuild of Canterbury, and the importance of everyone in the system and the key people, key volunteers to local government and national. We must all respond better at a local level, how we do better enhance communities, and how we use technology, media to be accurate, because that was always one of the problems on media. Understand better from overseas events and the ability to change and adapt to events in our own country, and the learnings and to learn from each other. Out of the Christchurch earthquake, there was 104 out of the 108 recommendations to be commissioned, and virtually know the community, empower it to take charge, felicitate and support, and identify and encourage community leaders. There were some great speakers there, right from, we had a speaker from, as in Anna's report, from the devastation in Japan with the tsunami over there, right down to the CEO on the rebuild in Christchurch. He was a really good speaker as well, and we attended that with Mr. Fox and Mr. Parker, and yeah, I got a lot out of that conference and really enjoyed it. The added bonus while we're down to Wellington through Councillor Kirk's contacts is that we got personally invited up to Minister Nikki Kay's office on the first night that we were down there, which was the Monday night. She was still working well, working late. She's a new minister with 5 portfolios and associated portfolios. She's only 31, and just the workload of coming in. One of those is she's Minister of Civil Defence, and very lovely lady. Took in comments both from our emergency manager Phil Parker and our recovery manager Brian Fox, and actually spoke of some of those in her opening of the emergency management conference. So that was a highlight for me to meet a minister like that, and a very open-eared minister. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it down there. What else can I say? Yeah, one of the other ones I say is putting the local and local government. That was one of the things that was said down there, even though central government tends. Mandate and responsibility, history, information, maps and working knowledge, expectations, pre-existing relationships with contractors and communities, which I think the Taupo District Council is ahead of anyone else, I'd like to say, in probably the country. The relationships that Brian and Phil Parker with iwi and other our major people in the community, is right down to our neighbourhood watch, how Phil works in with that, with our civil defence. I think is huge kudos to our emergency management team in council. So that's all I've got to say. Probably rattled on a bit too much.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And you've got a copy before. Full report. Put out.
Do you want me to carry on with the rest of the meetings reports? I've done a few for our luscious Mayor Cooper. I've been to the Volunteer Fire Brigade Awards in Taupo, and also the opening of the New Zealand Polocross International Tournament that's been held here in Turangi. I must mention that because if you get a chance to go and watch that, it's 4 international sides, New Zealand being one, Ireland, Zambia and Australia. So it's huge kudos onto the organisers, Kerry, Miramar, Angela and Tanya. Awful lot of work to get this here in Turangi on the southern shores of Taupo and Iliatu. I think huge kudos goes to bring an event like that here, and the porphyry happened on Sunday afternoon. So I was really honoured to represent that for Rick.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, I'll go.
That goes right through till Easter, the end of Easter. So if you get a chance, it's on the domain in Turangi here. Go down. I mean, there's 60 horses that have been trained up because they actually get a horse that's from New Zealand. They don't bring over their own horses, so it might be a little bit of advantage on the New Zealand team. There's 3 lady riders and 3 men's riders, or 4. There's 4 8-person teams. So yeah, it's half and half. Yeah.
I'm an ex-autocross rider myself.
Okay, I'll go to Councillor Johnson.
Attend Waira House, the monthly trust meeting, AGM for Waipahi, Botanical Gardens and Friends of the Museum, the latest committee you've got me on.
You volunteered for Councillor Henderson.
As usual, my list of appointments is with Tina Jakes, Governance Manager, and in this case it will be with her tomorrow for the last couple of months. So if anyone wishes to have a look at that, discuss anything with me or members of the public or elected members, then they're welcome to.
Councillor Hickling.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I deputised for you on the opening of the Aotearoa Bridge. Quite a nice occasion, and as we know, when we went up to Lake Karapiro yesterday, we had the privilege of driving across there. We've now completed the deliberations on the Southern Structure Plan. We are going to have just another meeting to officially go through the final document to present it to full council for adoption. There's something else too, probably forgot. So, yep, that's me.
Councillor Truman.
Like Councillor Hickling, I also went to the opening of the Aotearoa Bridge, the Waikato Forum, and on Thursday we've got a meeting with Mangakino Community-led Development just to see how we can further our partnership there.
Cool. Councillor Kipper.
Yeah, just the Southern Structure Plan, which is reaching its final stages, so that's quite good. And I went to the Business After 5 here in Turangi last night, and some new initiatives coming out of EGLT and Go Tongariro, so that's really a launch.
Councillor Williams.
Yes, along with Councillor Crate, attended the opening of Stage 1 of the AC Bars, which was a very proud moment, and congratulations to everybody there, and it really is looking absolutely marvellous. So they're very, very proud of what the contractors and what Andrew and his team have achieved. That's fantastic. And along with 5 other councillors yesterday, attended the Mayoral Forum in Karapiro. I was really interested to hear Peter McKinley speak on the Act and the way forward, the Local Government Reform Act and the way forward. I took on board his comments that local governments cannot ignore the changes indicated by central government, and the need to get on a horse and start riding hard, or otherwise they'll be left behind. There's absolutely no benefit for this region. I don't think going forward, there's no benefit for councils to bury their head in the sand, and unless his view was unless councils were proactive in following the Act, then they would be maybe given some circumstances that were unpalatable to their ratepayers. So yeah, I thought it was a really interesting address. And one thing I was a bit disappointed to see that committees have already been formed, and because of our recent association with Bay of Plenty, we're not on any of those committees. And none of our councillors or our CEO aren't on any committee, so I'd like to think that we could get on them.
We can get on them anytime you like.
I'd just like to say that that was a deliberate action actually, because you'll find that that the two extremes of the district, just the pragmatics of getting people together wasn't that realistic. So the bulk of the committee structure related, and at the mayoral forum the agreement was that it would be the bulk of those councillors that would run the various projects, just because it's so hard to get people together. And that's why all the briefings are going through the full mayoral forum, so that everybody can take part in those meetings. But it was acknowledging the fact that because Taupo and Thames Coromandel they're at the very extremes, and they're also working with other neighbours, that it might be too much for them to undertake.
Oh, we did have the right time though.
So it was a discussion. I have been involved in the working groups. The governance and planning working group I've been involved with Gavin Iron. That was at Gavin's request that I specifically be involved, so I was happy to do that, but it did mean 4 or 5 trips to Hiahia, which it's quite a trip. When you sort of take that out of your week, it actually can have quite an impact, particularly when you're going to ratou. And I think that politically the same discussions were had, because Taupo goes in 2 different directions. But those discussions were had, and those offers were forthcoming.
Oh well, I wasn't aware, as a councillor, I wasn't aware that there was any opportunity for us to have a seat. And I do know the Waitomo, he must be equally distant. Brian Henner's
Brian was involved because he's one of the more rural ones, and they desperately wanted a rural mayor to be involved in the roading exercise.
Okay, well, that's finished? Yeah. So somebody move, please, that the reports from members be received. Move down, second, Johnson, on favour, aye. I need now to move a resolution, please, to exclude the public. My apologies, Bernard. Good to see you, sir.
I'm sure I'll find out sooner or later.